You are now tuned into the SoCHiology podcast. SoCHiology is a lifestyle brand that analyzes Chicago culture and connected topics abroad, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. On this episode, we're talking about Michael Jordan. There's really nothing else to be said. This is SoCHiology, episode 18. All right, so I got a question. When it comes to basketball, in y'all opinion, and unbiased, objective, who do y'all consider the GOAT?
Michael Jordan. I think it's no contest.
Definitely Michael Jordan. Not even a question.
It'd be Mike, definitely.
All right. So everybody agrees, Mike. Again, no bias. No objective, but everybody on here agree it's Mike. Most people will agree with that. Despite what LeBron is doing is phenomenal. There's no shade to LeBron. And I feel like a lot of people think just because you say Mike is the GOAT, it's kind of like saying LeBron trash or something. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron doing some shit we ain't never seen before. You know what I'm saying? And we probably ain't gonna see it again.
LeBron.
Yeah, like dude been going he gonna go 20 years kind of like Kobe did. Easy. He probably gonna retire as the all-time leading scorer. Most likely gonna retire as the all-time leading scorer. Right. All of that. That's cool. Mike's still the GOAT though. You know what I'm saying? Mike's still the GOAT. So like, I just want to open it up with something real quick. So I came across a stat, right? And in 3 seasons, so the NBA been around, I don't know how long, but it's only been 3 seasons where a player has recorded at least 100 blocks, 200 steals, 300 assists, and 300 rebounds in one season. And that only happened 3 times. Scottie Pippen did it in the 89-90 season. Mike did it in the 86-87 and the 87-88 season. That shit crazy. And just for the record, this is a stat that only began in 1973 when they started recording blocks and steals in the stat sheet. But that's still crazy as fuck. You would think what Russell Westbrook been doing this past 4 years that he would have did something like that, and he hasn't.
I mean, those stats be cool, but when you look at the sport and you trying to be a true purist, those stats don't mean nothing if you don't get that hardware at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So as we look at Russell Westbrook, and even as you just mentioned, Mike and Scotty, when you look at the years that they did that, they
didn't win.
There you go.
They didn't win. They didn't win, which is true. That's a fact.
A lot.
It says a lot.
If you got to do all of that, that says something about the team that you're playing with.
Yeah. Mike was playing with bums in the 80s.
Hell yeah.
Most definitely.
Cokeheads.
I was waiting on that.
It was a whole lot of cokeheads in the 80s everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. Snowfall.
Yep. Hey, what year was you born in, Twan?
Height of the crack era, 88.
Your doctor was a cokehead.
Damn. Damn. Hey. Shit, that's fucked up. I'm glad he got me delivered safely.
Hey,
but
I was born in Ingles, bro. My doctor was a cokehead too.
Damn. Harvey World. Shout out to Thornton though. Shout out to Thornton.
Already.
Hey, so look, so like, Mike came into the league where it's like they was like playing county ball. You feel me? But like Mike couldn't really shoot.
Nope.
In his early years. You feel me?
Correct.
How was he getting all these buckets? Can y'all explain, all three of y'all? Can y'all have y'all moment? Explain, how was Mike getting these buckets like that?
Well, the game was different then, so shooting wasn't the priority. Back then the game was played inside out. You go through your traditional big men, your power forwards and your centers first. And then you had your elite wings that came around like Jordan and his athleticism. And Mike was one of the few people that moved well east to west, first.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, a lot of guards, they really didn't move east to west good. So they didn't change directions like Mike did. So that's how he was able to beat the guards off the dribble, and then his athleticism just carried him over the big guys in the middle.
Yep. I would weigh in on the fact that if you look at Mike in college, they didn't have a 3-point line, which
Right.
meant that every basket was worth the same. So why would I stay outside shooting when I can get to this bucket and potentially make the old school 3-point play or score easier? So if everything is held constant, it's no reason for me to be shooting 20 feet from the basket if it's going to be worth the same if I come in and yam it on you.
Yeah, yeah. And,
That's real.
that's the same thing. Like we seen the highlights. Jordan in the '80s and back then, all he was doing was driving on people, shaking and baking, going to the hole,
And
and he
dunking
played
on
above
them.
the rim. Yeah, he played above the rim, so he's just gonna dunk on you. And nobody really wanted to get embarrassed, so a lot of people just kind of move out the way, or if they
I
would try to
mean,
jump with him, he'd dunk on them.
even
So,
without talking about the embarrassing piece, though, you got to
mhm,
say, just like Rose just brought up, them guards wasn't moving east to west. So he was getting right past them. And the
yeah,
last line of defense was what? That big. And like you just said, I don't want to get embarrassed. He had one of the highest recorded verts in history, right?
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I want to touch on something real quick because the whole east to west thing, and it kind of addresses the whole athleticism didn't exist back then. It just magically appeared after 2003. Like I feel like it don't matter what era it was, Mike would be doing the same thing because when you look at those highlights, when you look at those 80s highlights, this nigga was fast.
Mm-hmm.
man.
He was an
Like
elite athlete. Period.
I think
Just like
people
it don't
forget
matter.
how fast this dude was on the court. Like he was like a gazelle out there. Like pew, pew. It's kind of like he had that Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook speed with that bounce of a Blake Griffin, Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like
But
how do you do all that?
the fearlessness to actually put it in the game. Because as you just said, they played county ball. So a lot of guys was like, man, if I go in there, they gon' take me out. So they just didn't play that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike said, F it, I'm about to do it.
Yeah. And they played defense, and he played defense too.
Yeah.
Play
And
defense. Like
also, it was. I'm gonna say this, but it was a little easier to score in the '80s than it is now.
What?
As a great one-on-one player because of the rule,
I agree.
because of the old illegal defense rule. So the
Yep.
old illegal defense rule mean you had to be like standing next to somebody no matter where they are on the court. Like you had to be within arm's length of someone no matter where they are on the court. Now is you
mm-hmm,
just can't be in the paint.
mm-hmm,
They
Hey,
don't
I,
call
I
it
mm-hmm.
now. They don't really call it now.
I'll say this too, Rose. When you think of playing basketball and you're a great one-on-one player, how do you want the defense to play you? Do you want them to sit back or do you want them to press up?
Sit
I
back.
mean, it depends on what you do. I
No,
mean,
we're just talking strictly one-on-one like Michael Jordan. So if I'm a great one-on-one player, I want you to press up on me because
right,
guess what? I'm gonna move east to west and get right past you. Whereas now, with the way the defense is structured, I can sit back and rely on help.
right.
And that creates a total different measure for scoring as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Depending on what
So
kind of game you got too.
Exactly.
yeah.
And
So
Because
and
it,
like I said,
Mike's
that
game,
defensive rule is huge. That's
yeah,
why if you
he
look
he
at
was
people,
always
they
on the
score
island.
better. Right. People score better in the NBA and in the pros than they did, anywhere else because of those rules.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If y'all want to know another thing, if you actually go back and look at the scores of the 80s versus the scores today, they scored more points in the 80s than they do today. People
Yeah. Oh,
don't
them
believe it.
Showtime Lakers was going stupid.
oh yeah,
Crazy. Crazy.
you wouldn't
Like
think
You
that
got
though.
yeah, you
you
wouldn't think they
wouldn't.
was dropping like 130 and 140. You know what I'm saying? Magic
Easily.
got like 25. Kareem had 36. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
what is you
See?
doing? You look at Gold Chain Mike, 80s Mike, right? Dude averaged damn near 40 points. Like, almost every year he was in the league, minus his rookie year. Now, of course, his sophomore year, he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? He broke a bone in his foot. What was it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we ain't really gonna
Um,
count that season for the most part.
Yeah,
But like, bruh, like you just scoring like damn near 40 points off of just, dunks and layups and mid-range jump shots. He
Free
wasn't even
throws.
shooting no threes like that. Free throws, yeah. He wasn't even shooting threes like that. And I think that's another thing. Like, you look at today's game, the three is the primary, focus of the game. Let's just be real.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But like
you scoring 40 points off just all of that. Like, it takes a lot of energy to do that shit, man. I get tired. I'm getting elbowed in the ribs every time I go to the basket. I'm getting slapped in the face. I ain't got time for that. And Mike wasn't a big dude either. Like, let's just be real. This dude was like lanky, like skinny, like I was. Nah, he wasn't skinny like me, but
He did it in his sleep. And it's all because back then Mike could get the ball and be on the island and you had one person to beat.
It was
Every
nothing.
time we go back and look at a highlight tape, or especially that game against the Celtics when he dropped the 63, look how many times he mixed between his legs on Larry Bird before he pulled up for a jumper.
And no one came to help him. And no one came to help.
Nobody. Nobody.
gee,
And
yeah,
you a scorer like that. That's easy.
hey, Larry Bird was on the island, dead on arrival, boy. Like, and then how you scoring 63 points and you getting swept? That's
Ooh, that's what's so crazy about it. Man,
So
that's crazy.
Gold Chain Mike was
got
all
swept.
about Mike and showing that I could kill you. And then when we talk about ballhead Mike, that's a different conversation.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So like Gold Chain Mike, he was dropping them buckets. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was the coach? Doug Collins was the coach, and he was, he said it in the last dance, just get Mike the ball and get the hell out the way. And Mike did what he did. But as we know, like, Gold Chain Mike, 80s Mike was dropping them buckets, but they wasn't doing shit though. They getting swept by the Celtics, Pistons busting their ass every damn year. Like, just busting their ass, getting swept, losing in 5 games, losing in 6, and they lost in 7. You know what I'm saying? What changed? And I'm gonna start with you, Greg. What changed when, Mike shaved the damn head off, you know what I'm saying, went bald, he left the dunk contest alone, you know what I'm saying? He won it twice. What changed when he went bald and we crossed that threshold into the 90s?
Phil Jackson to me. Because when Phil came around, he kind of changed the whole system and tried to instill in him that, hey, you got to get your teammates involved, and that's only how you're going to win. So once Phil came in, Tex Winters and all them, Johnny Bach, they just changed his whole mindset of how he had to play basketball. Because before that, it wasn't going to get him far. He wasn't going to win any championships, wasn't going to do anything. But once Phil came around, it just changed everything for him.
Okay. What about you, Rose?
Yeah, I agree. Phil Jackson, he was, pretty much, the mastermind of, the whole switch with Mike. And also, I would say maturity and just tired of losing. Okay, now we got to try something else. Like, yeah, I'm better than everybody else, but I'm still not winning. So now now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen to this Zen master and we're going to figure it out.
Because I saw a stat, I did a lot. I be looking at a lot of random shit. So in the 90s, with Jordan in the lineup, in the entire decade of the 90s, the Bulls never lost more than 3 games in a row. And the only time that happened was the first 3 games of the 91 season, the first time they won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy ass stat.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy as fuck.
Never lost 3 games in a row.
And the key phrase is that with Jordan in the lineup. That's the key phrase. So, 94, they probably lost 3 games or more. Obviously, we know what happened in 99, you know what I'm saying? But with Jordan in the lineup, they never lost more than 3 games. That's crazy as hell.
Let me give you my answer, what I think the difference was. Because Phil is the obvious difference, and everybody knows that once Phil got there, he got him over the hump. Okay. Gold Chain Mike was a fucking Marine. When they call the Marines in, they gonna get the job done, but they gonna bust every nose, dunk over every head. They blowing shit up to get one person, right? But you call in the Navy SEALs, they gonna operate like surgeons and precisions and know everything that's gonna happen before it happens and play that game to make it the cleanest escape and exit as possible. That's the difference between the two to me. Ballhead Michael Jordan was a surgeon. He knew everything that was happening on the floor. Gold chain Michael Jordan was, I'm stronger, bigger, faster. I'm just gonna go past you. You can't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm.
the difference.
That's real, man. Because like again, like we said at the top of the podcast, the styles was just so, it was like so radically different. Like
Yep.
again, like he was still dunking on people. Of course, he was still getting, leading the league in steals. Defensive. Making all defensive first team, all of that. But like offensively, it was just different. It's like he went from like a dog to like a fox. You know what I'm saying? Just like
Yeah.
I can't explain it. I can't explain it.
He's picking literally when to strike, and everything looks so smooth and effortlessly. And to be a guy his size, we literally saw no one capable of stopping Michael Jordan.
That's true. That's very true.
Mm.
Have y'all ever seen Mike get stopped outside of him just being off? And then the very next time he played that opponent, just so they know it wasn't them, what does he do
Mm-hmm.
to him?
It went
Just go
crazy.
off on
Yeah, it just went crazy. Just went crazy. And it was like so smooth. Like I was looking at a
Easy.
GIF. On Instagram. It was like a real slow motion GIF of like the fadeaway. Like it was like in art. Like it was like a sketch, a silhouette sketch of him doing a fadeaway. And it was just like so goddamn pretty. And I ain't even trying to sound like, like a fucking, groupie none, but that shit was just amazing. Just watching it, it looks so simple, but it's so hard. And I actually think Rosie said this shit before.
It's a bad
Kobe
shot.
had a deeper offensive bag than Mike. And I'm
Yeah.
sure Greg would agree with that too. Kobe had a deeper offensive bag. Mike's offensive bag really wasn't that deep, regardless of what era of his career you look at. But that's still impressive because he was still getting the buckets anyway. It's kind of like what he gonna do, but he's still gonna do it.
The most cold thing to
footwork.
me about it was check this out. Growing up your entire life, the fadeaway shot is called a bad shot. Stop shooting that fadeaway. Stop doing that. That's the bad shot. That man
Mhm.
turned it into a weapon.
I mean, because it's literally it's nothing you could do about it. If you're not gonna block the shot, it's
You
literally
ain't.
nothing you do matters.
Yeah,
Correct.
nothing at all. And
And
you
and
can't
then you
tell me. No, go ahead.
now I was gonna say then you create that space when you get in the post and you fade away. It's like it's unblockable. You can't do nothing with it.
Can't do nothing, and you can't tell me it won't be successful in this game because he did it against people that's similar to playing in this game. He did it against a KG. You feel me? He did it against a Sean Marion. You can't tell me Sean Marion is a plumber, G. Sean Marion was what, 6'10",
The Matrix, baby.
athletic
Come on.
as
Long
it
as
can
hell.
be.
Call his
And
name,
Mike
bro.
old as hell, Wizard. We talking about Wizards Mike now. We ain't even talking about Gold Chain and Ballhead. We talking about
Right.
Wizards Mike. Old as
And Wizards
fuck.
Mike still was a killer.
Still was a
Sure
killer.
was.
Yeah, talk about it.
And dropping dude up in the motherfucking All-Star game, which would have been a game winner, but that's a whole
Except
nother story
somebody
though.
fouled somebody shooting a shot, right?
Right. That's a whole nother story though. But it's like
Oh man.
Ballhead Mike was just like you said, Corey, he was like a Navy SEAL, like a surgeon out there, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just getting buckets. And he wasn't even shooting threes still that much. Like that whole Portland shit, that was like rare.
That's hot. That's why
Yeah,
he
that's
shrugged
why he
his
shrugged.
shoulders. He was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck this is.
Steph do that shit at night now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Steph Curry. I was a Steph Curry denier, y'all. For the
Really?
longest, I would still say that Ray Allen was a better shooter.
Oh
But
hell no.
Oh
Steph
no.
Curry is
When
the
you get off
best
of that,
shooter that has ever walked this planet.
who
Period.
it is?
I apologize for
Yeah.
denying that man.
You said I apologize. Hey, he just won his what? He just won the scoring title today, right? They made it official.
Yeah.
And it's crazy we talk about Steph because him and Mike, the only ones to win scoring titles over the age of 33. The only ones. Nobody else has done it. It's kind of like once you get to like 31, 32, you at the end of the line.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Most people, when they get to 31, 32, they 9 or 10 years in the league as well.
Yeah,
And look at
especially now.
LeBron. Yep. LeBron got to that age and he was still only what? I don't know.
28, 28, I think.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. 28 max.
And that's what I think separates Mike from everybody else because everything he did it and really only playing like 12 seasons.
Shorter than
Man,
that,
talk about
right?
it. Talk about it.
Because
And
84 to 93, and
And we got to
then
take out his
96
sophomore
to
year because he really
yeah,
ain't
so
played.
you got to remove that year
yeah.
because he didn't play, and all the accolades that he built up in 12 years, like the 10 scoring titles, is just ridiculous.
But y'all know
Basically,
Mike had some vacations too, in
Yeah,
94,
Yeah, he did.
95.
True.
right, had a nice little vacation. But it's crazy because again, like LeBron, he's gonna be the all-time lead scorer. That's gonna happen. It's inevitable. Um, but can you imagine how many points Mike would have had if he didn't get hurt that year and if he didn't leave in '94?
Man, nobody don't want to even think about that because he would have damn near won 9 titles, and he would have had
Man,
every season he would have been a scoring champ.
every damn record he would have had, all the scoring records at least.
Yeah, that's easily like four, maybe 5,000 points off the board right there. Like we just gonna be
Mhm.
real, like you know what I'm saying? Just from those 2.5 seasons alone.
Think about it. When he first retired, I think he left the game averaging 30.9 or like 31. He came back and played them what we call bum years. Those 2 years Mike played was great years for some people career.
Mm,
right.
And
Talking with the
those
Wizards,
and
right?
mm.
yeah. And
Oh
those I
yeah.
consider his bum years or the years you don't count. Think about that shit. And it dropped his scoring average to like 30.2 or some shit like that.
Which is still the
That's
highest of all
crazy.
time.
30.1. 30.1.
Which
Yeah, he
is
dropped his shit. He
Yeah,
dropped
which
his
is
shit. Yeah.
still the highest of all time, like Rose just said. Like, why he had 2 scrub years and he still held on to the title of scoring champ, all-time scoring champ. That's crazy.
Which would never be broken in my opinion. I don't think
I
it would be
agree.
broken.
We won't
Um,
see it.
yeah, we'll be dust when that happened. If it happened. Like, but yeah, man, that shit crazy because it's like, again, when you look at Mike's career, it's kind of like you can divide it in segments. Like, how many players can you really do that with? You know what I'm saying? Like on some real talk, like
Yeah.
okay, we do it with Kobe, right? With the whole 24 versus 8, and it's like pretty much identical. Um, and I feel like he's probably the only other player we can do that with. But like with Mike, it's like he really had two totally different just styles, and it's like all wrapped and gift wrapped into one player. That shit crazy to me.
And you probably could rap to like separate Ray Allen a little bit too. Just another player.
True.
Hey, Ray
Because
Yeah,
Allen
but
don't
his
even deserve to
greatness
be
ain't
in
on
this
that level.
conversation.
Yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
his greatness ain't on that
Now,
level,
if
so
you
it
want
don't.
Oh
to
no,
go,
no, no, no. It's
you
not.
could
It's
have went
not.
LeBron. You could go first Cleveland, then Miami,
shit,
then
LeBron got
back
a
to
whole
Cleveland,
series.
and it's Lakers. And you could do Kobe because you go fro Kobe or
Right, that's what I'm
all
Oh
in
yeah,
saying.
Kobe.
Yeah,
Kobe
eight
Right.
easy.
eight
Yeah.
versus 24. Yeah, 8 versus 24.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
8 versus
you
24.
Twiz, you spot on with that one, bro. You definitely
Yeah.
spot on. It's not many people you can do that with because you
It
either
ain't.
good or you not. That's it.
It is that simple. So like let me ask y'all this. All right, so I'm gonna ask y'all a general question. And I'll start with you, Rose. If a player can beat another player one on one, does that automatically mean the player that won is better?
No, not at all.
What does it
Not
mean then?
I mean, they're better one-on-one player.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, and that's it because I mean, I've seen several people beat really good players one-on-one, but when it comes to the team game and the entire game of itself, they're completely different players.
Mm-hmm.
And so and like I'm sure that we all have beaten somebody in one-on-one that's a better basketball player than us,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it ain't even close. It just means
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one is a weird game.
Okay.
It's a weird game. Some people good at it and some people just not good at it either.
Makes sense. What you think, Greg?
I would agree because like one-on-one players, it don't mean you're the better player. Because I'd say like J.R. Smith, a good one-on-one player. He'll probably
Oh
kill a lot of
yeah.
people in one-on-one.
Oh
It
yeah.
just some people built for that type of stuff.
Right.
So
Jamal
they can
Crawford, baby.
yeah, there you go. Jamal Crawford, man. Like some people just built for that one. Like I say, like Derrick Rose, even at his pinnacle, I don't think he'll beat a lot of players one on one. That
Mm-hmm.
ain't for everybody. I don't think so.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
That's
don't
that's
think
saying a
so.
especially when
lot.
you talk about the pros and you talk about like guys that are really good in the NBA. Like they just beat up on each other because those guys, even the guys that are just okay, they're still really good and they don't miss. They don't miss in one
Yeah.
on one
I,
games.
I was gonna say if
It's
y'all
whoever go
ever
get the ball last. That's who's gonna win the game.
watch, it's
Mm-hmm.
a clip on YouTube right now of Kevin Durant cooking the entire USA basketball team
Oh yeah, I saw
because they
that.
playing the one-on-one games. And it's like he just like Rose just said, the ball never hit the rim when he hit his shots. Everything was all net.
Man, that boy nasty.
Every
Well, well,
shot.
well, think about that KG clip. Well,
Yeah.
with the
Full court
USA.
one-on-one.
Come on,
Right.
man. Look at that.
Like so, those guys are just so good that whoever got the ball was going, they gonna score, and whoever end up with
That
the
Keep
ball last gonna win.
that,
keep
that
this
shit
in
nasty.
mind. Kevin Garnett is 6'11" doing that.
Yeah, tall as fuck.
Like, who is going to stop? It's just like, who is ever going to block Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway shot? Nobody, because he's
Yeah,
7 feet
Nobody.
tall. Kevin Garnett, you wasn't hitting. He shot over his head.
True.
that's wild. That's wild. Yeah, yeah. So okay. So with that being said, you know, gold chain Mike 80s, ball head Mike 90s. They lace them up. They stepping on the court. They playing the 11. Who winning?
Ooh,
I'm going
I
ball
go
head.
first.
I jumped the gun. Too bad.
No,
I'm
you
going
good.
ball
It
head.
don't matter. I'm going. Hey, we just we just got done sitting here saying how that '80s mic was all about East and West, blowing past, yamming on your head. I'm done with you. And we talking about one-on-one basketball. All that cerebral shit don't mean nothing.
At
All it
Mm.
all.
is who is the most, who can get past who and not miss. And Gold Chain Mike will whoop ball head Mike slow ass.
Damn.
Nope.
Damn.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Nope. I disagree.
Okay.
Greg, you go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, like Corey was saying, Gold Chain Mike, that dude will kill him. He too
Mm.
fast for him. Because
Mm.
90s Mike, like you said, cerebral. He got all that game and stuff like that. But 80s Mike had defense. He was fast. I don't think there's no competition really.
Mm.
So,
Damn. So he
so
winning
my
11 and
rebuttal to
0?
y'all,
Okay. All right,
Just
rebuttal.
about.
my rebuttal to y'all is, I mean, Ballhead Mike is just a superior player. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's way more skilled. He's a better defender. And picture this: how many times have you guys played someone younger than you and you beat them simply because you're wiser?
Hey,
Like
D Wade bust his son ass.
I beat some of my guys now that are on my college team simply because I'm wiser. I'm better with angles, offensively and defensively, that they just don't even understand. And Gold Chain Mike, he's just pure athleticism. He's just pure athleticism, and but he can't shoot, couldn't shoot. So now I can play off him a little bit. Oh, I mean, Ballhead Mike can play off him a little bit and use his angles and just use his smarts. Man, he'd tear that boy up, man. It's a boy. It's a boy playing
Look,
against a man.
Mm.
like
Cause
like we said.
they kind of did this in a commercial. Y'all remember the commercial with
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
remember.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
North
yeah,
Carolina Mike versus I think it was Gold
yeah.
Chain
It was
Mike.
Gold Chain
Yeah, he
Mike.
had
He
the
had
Yeah.
the chains on.
yep.
Uh
Against
huh.
all of them, I think.
And the
Yep.
arm or the leg band.
Yep.
Yep, and
Uh huh.
Ballhead Mike whooped all of them.
Look,
Whooped them
I
all.
don't care what any of these fake commercials say or any of that stuff. Like we just got done saying, just because you're a better one-on-one player doesn't make you a better basketball player. And just because you're a better basketball player, it doesn't make you a better one-on-one player. That shit gotta go both ways. That's the only way it remains equal. Life
Yeah,
is
but
about
Ballhead Mike was
equilibrium.
better at everything 1-on-1 too, though.
No, he
Like it,
wasn't.
it,
Was
it
he?
he was better at everything. He shot better. He was a
He
better
was a better
defender.
jump shooter. Yeah.
He
I
was a
don't know
better
about
That's
that
defender.
it.
defender. I don't know about that defender
No, because
stuff.
he won Defensive Player of the Year when we would consider him to be
Gold
nah,
chain.
that was the nineties, right? Early
What?
No,
nineties?
It was
defensive player of the year. He was
Defense
defensive player of the
88.
year in 88. 88. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He
him.
had he had all the
Yeah,
hardware in 88 except for a chip.
that's when he
Yep.
was, stealing the ball and blocking shots. He now he
And what do
got
you
in the
think he
'90s.
needs to do in one on one?
In '90s, you got to sit down, and you start sitting down guarding. Sitting down and guarding. It's different.
Okay. Well, ballhead Mike gonna sit down and guard these nuts as
Oh my
Gold
God.
Chain Mike dunk on him. Okay.
He not gonna get that. He too light. Gold Chain Mike was so light.
Hey,
Ballhead Mike
Okay.
had that
He
boy
was
he
about
skinny
light,
50
but
compared
he
to
was
pounds.
Baldhead
strong.
Mike. Baldhead
He
Mike
was
was
Yeah.
strong
swole.
though.
But
Goldhead
that's how
Mike
the
was
whole
skinny.
league was. Think about the whole league was on that skinny stuff in the 80s. They started bulking up towards the 90s. Fitness was all about being as lean and as think about how the centers used to look in the 80s. Come on now, y'all.
Yeah,
Hmm.
And then we
right.
had
You're
Shaquille
right.
O'Neal come out and he was like, oh my goodness.
But he wasn't like that till he got to the Lakers. Shaq in Orlando wasn't. He wasn't big. He was still big, but he wasn't nowhere near what he was when he got to
Right.
the Lakers.
But
Yeah,
even
that's
as
true.
a,
And he was faster
even
too on Orlando.
right, even as a rookie, you had your bigs looking like built like Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon was never what Shaq was.
Yeah, and also, it was men in the NBA at that time because they had to stay in college. The age of the league was just higher. The average
Yeah,
age of the league was higher because you didn't have, 20 people coming out that's 18 and 19-year old every year like you do now.
true. But that's why them young boys, and that's exactly why young Mike, Gold Chain Mike, will beat Bald Head Mike for them skinny
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah, I'm running with young Mike, man, all day long.
Exactly.
He
Let's
too
go,
he too
Greg.
wise for that. He gonna
Twiz,
bald
where
head Mike
you
gonna
at?
put his
that
booty on him and just turn
He said
around
gonna put
dunk
a
shots
booty on.
all on. Uh-huh.
He got Bald Head Mike twerking on the court, man. What you doing out
Oh
there?
my
Come on,
God.
man. Twiz,
Oh
where
my
you
God.
at?
I
Who you
think
got winning?
y'all all y'all make valid points. But I think I would probably lean to Ballhead Mike simply because he gonna figure some shit out.
Just wiser.
Boy,
I don't
Wiser.
disagree with I could see Gold Chain Mike going crazy, winning 11-1. You know what I'm saying? Telling him to sit his old ass down, all that shit. But I could see Ballhead Mike getting pissed the fuck off and taking it personal that his
And
younger
gold
self.
chain Mike, he gonna miss. Bald head Mike ain't gonna miss.
Yeah, Gold Chain Mike can't shoot, so he got to get to the rim. If he don't get to the rim, he fucked.
Why do y'all not
shit.
think he won't get to the rim
I
if
was
he
I
was
was just
going
about to say.
past every
I was just about to
defender
say.
Cause he
that was
going against
supposed to be the
himself.
man?
Right?
But
He's
Going
he's
going
against
against
himself.
slower,
himself,
a slower version of
but
himself.
stronger version. And you gotta remember, so they you
It
can
ain't no
he can
hand
hand
check.
check then,
No,
and
no, no.
so bald head
We
Mike.
playing with ball head Mike rules. No hand checking.
No, and so Mike he gonna put that body on him, man. That little boy ain't gonna know what to do.
Hey, look, I'll just say this. Here's an interesting stat. So, Mike got 10 scoring titles. 3 of them belong to Gold Chain Mike. 7 belong to Ballhead Mike. Now, the thing is, Gold Chain Mike got the highest averages. You feel me? But Ballhead Mike was averaging 32, though. Ballhead Mike had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had 5 seasons where he was averaging 30. You know, he still was getting buckets.
Yeah, yeah.
He was
Just a
getting
little
buckets.
different type of buckets in the
Right,
team system.
right.
But
'Cause
also, the one issue with that is Gold Chain Mike was a much shorter era than ball head Mike too, though.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he had more chances. Cause Gold Chain Mike wasn't he was running the entire league. The entire league.
You can't say he was running it and he kept getting smoked in the playoffs.
We ain't
He was
talking
the,
about winning
he was
championships.
he
We
was
just
the
talking
best
about
player.
101 players.
Yeah, he
Black
was the best
Jesus, don't
player.
forget. Black
Yes.
Jesus.
Black
There you
Jesus.
go. Black Jesus.
Don't
Yeah, but
forget it.
yeah,
Jesus. Hey, he got game.
Don't forget it, boy.
yeah,
Jesus.
Black
Black
Jesus.
Jesus kept getting stopped though. Bald head Mike never got stopped. Never.
Yeah. If Black Jesus had Phil Jackson, I guarantee they would have won more.
Nah, Phil was still in over there in like the CBA or something. He ain't know
Gee,
nothing.
Phil
He was
tall as
in like
hell.
Europe or some shit.
Tall
Hell
as
yeah.
fuck.
Phil Jackson played
Phil.
basketball when they was literally out there. It was playing against plumbers and shit.
Yeah, and there was like 8 teams in the league.
Hell
They was
yeah.
wearing ankle socks and Chuck Taylors. Just
Dude,
and
why was they
and they
supposed to
had
wear
roofing
Converse?
jobs on the weekend.
This off
that's
top
why.
topic, but y'all realize Bill Russell was player and coach.
That's
Right.
Like
crazy.
that's
Yep.
crazy. On the professional team, he was player and coach.
And he in the
is.
Hall
And
of
he,
Fame is both.
yep, that's
Yep,
wild. That's wild as fuck. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so
Why we
I
don't talk
gotta.
about Bill as the best of all time, low key?
I
He wasn't.
mean,
The Bill Russell was trash.
Because
That's
Bill
another
wasn't
that's
even
thing.
better than
different
Wilt, in
game.
my opinion.
Hell no, he wasn't better than Will. Not at
I
all.
think
Nah, he wasn't.
I think Bill Russell career point average is like 13.
But we really don't talk about him. I'm gonna tell y'all. Look, this is why we don't talk about him. In about 60 years, when we ain't here and the NBA still here, I guarantee some of our players they're not gonna talk about because the game is gonna be that far gone. Look at what Steph Curry did since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Like this shit escalates so far that Bill Russell couldn't give somebody Gatorade in the game today.
Bill Russell career average is 15 points,
And he played against little white boys
That's
and they
wild.
sold insurance during the week and after the game.
but he did average 22 rebounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
If you played against Joe Schmo
Hey,
and you had to grab rebounds all day long, I bet you would do it too.
Corey, you funny as
hey, it's what
hell.
that's funny as fuck. Hey, but hey, Wilt though, man, was a motherfucker
It's
though.
a
Like,
monster.
gee, it's crazy. He only
Yes.
got 2 rings. He only got two
Wilt,
motherfucking rings, and it's crazy as
Wilt
hell
would
to
have
me.
been good at. He would have been good at any sport. At
Sure
any
would have.
Any
sport that
sport in
involves
any era,
athleticism. Yep, in any
in
area.
any
Y'all
era.
y'all saw that he was like champion in the 100 meters, high jump,
Yep.
and
Long
then a
jump.
champion
Yeah,
in
high
the
jump.
yeah,
Uh huh.
exactly. They showed that little clip of him running up and down the floor, and it looked like it was a horse out there, and everybody else was running in slow motion.
Mm-hmm. A damn gazelle, for real.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, man.
that
Athleticism
shit
has
was
always
crazy.
been around. It's always been around. And that's why I say, like, you look at Mike,
Yep.
we just talking about Mike, period, now. Like, you look at Mike, if Mike had the resources and the technology these athletes got today, my God. Like,
Mike was he was in
Yeah.
the locker room smoking cigars before he laced
Every
them up.
cigars,
Yep.
gambling all night before games and shit. Like,
We
you know
saw
what I'm
that in the
saying?
Last Dance, smoking cigars, then going to practice. Like what?
Let me
Gee,
ask y'all this question. I always wondered this. When we look at what LeBron James did, and even Kobe, right out of high school, do we think that Michael Jordan would have been able to do that?
No,
yep,
I
No,
don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
yep.
Look,
So
he
if we
wasn't that
got two
good then.
people saying, if we got two people saying no, does that mean that they better than Michael Jordan?
Uh-oh.
No, no,
Hey, no, I don't mean that.
not a chance. I
No,
mean,
I
Kobe
don't
didn't do
mean
that
it.
either when he first came in the NBA.
Not his first year, but by the time he
First
got to
couple years,
his third year, I believe he was an all-star.
right? And that's
Yeah,
like Mike rookie
second
year
year,
or
second
Mike.
year.
No, second year he was an all-star, right,
Uh
Greg?
huh.
Because he was in that a '98
New
all-star
York
game.
and New York.
Because that was Mike's last one.
That's when he came off the bench and
Mm-hmm.
was still an All Star.
I
Busting
Yep.
think
their ass.
The
I
Lakers
think
had six
like
all-stars.
yeah, they shit, they whole team was damn all stars. I think like given the context of the question, like we saying if Mike went from Laney straight to the league, would he still have success? I think he would because he just had it in him. You know what I'm saying? Cause like we talk about how he won the championship as a freshman, right? Whoop de fucking do. But we don't really talk about his sophomore and junior years because they didn't win a chip. But he was still going stupid though, and people would say that junior year team was actually probably the best team
Yes.
he was on
Yep.
with
Yeah,
Sam
and
Perkins.
his freshman year, he wasn't even like the man though.
Right, it was
Yeah.
worthy.
I was just about to bring him up, and James Worthy said he saw him in practice one day and said, "Oh yeah, this ain't my team no more.
Mm.
You
This
know what I'm
ain't my
saying?
team no more."
Like, so I think he could have, like, you know, I probably would have took him maybe an extra year or two or whatever. But I think he probably would have, you know, I still think he would have been who the fuck he was
It just wouldn't
eventually.
have been immediately, you know. Now, like what LeBron did, it's just, you know, that's just crazy. It's just crazy how he, as soon as he popped up, he was just that good right
Was
away.
LeBron really the rookie of the year though?
No, he shouldn't have been.
Hell
Should have been
no,
Carmelo.
Melo.
Exactly. Easy. Melo the only one to win rookie of the year in his respective conference every month and not win rookie of the year for the
Yep.
NBA.
Come on, well, that's like dumb as hell.
That's wild to me.
So it
And he
is,
made the
but
playoffs.
Oh
also,
my God,
oh
shit.
man,
Don't
I don't know.
remind me.
Can
And he
we?
made the
Do you
playoffs.
want to talk about this right now, Twiz? I got something on that, man.
Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah. Talk your shit.
I could agree with them doing co-rookie of the years because when you look at
They
what
should have. They
LeBron,
should have.
yeah, when you look at what LeBron did for Cleveland, even in terms of wins, but also just for the NBA as well,
Yeah.
LeBron's impact was way greater than Carmelo Anthony's impact.
That shouldn't get you no award.
I was about to
It
say that.
does, but it does because
Because
we
the
all
media,
know that.
yeah,
Yeah,
the media be
exactly.
voting.
But on the
See,
court though, like
so
I
that's
agree
what
with your
matters.
I agree with your statement. It should have been Cole if anything, because they did that before, right? Like didn't Jason
Yeah,
Kidd and
Jason Kidd and Chris
get
Webber was it?
yeah, they should have did Cole
I
Rookie of the
don't know if
Years. It
that's the
should have been
years,
that.
but
Elton
yeah, it
Brand
was
and Steve Francis, I think.
It was some they did it with somebody. I can't
def,
remember.
Somebody like that.
But it should have been Cole
yeah.
Rookie of the Years. Like Melo got snubbed like a motherfucker and he made the playoffs. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. He did get snubbed, but we also see that I don't never mind. I don't want to do that because I like Melo
Uh
too
oh.
much.
Uh oh. Uh
I'm
oh.
just gonna
Uh
leave it
oh.
alone,
Okay,
Twiz.
so
Yeah.
we
I
gonna
like
Make sure
Melo
you
too
remain
much.
respectful.
we
Yeah, I
gonna
know,
leave it
right?
I
alone.
like
So
Stay mellow. Stay mellow.
so so we talk about Gold Chain Mike, Ballhead Mike. What y'all think was Mike's greatest single season?
It's tough. I mean, I
It
think
96
is
season.
96.
96. Yep.
70 and 12.
72 and 10.
72 and 10, I mean.
Yep.
I see. I just want to go. I say 98. You know, his last season with the Bulls.
Final.
98
Yep.
was his
Ooh.
best.
I think so. To me, at least. I mean,
You gotta
Mm-hmm.
explain that after Greg tell us his years. I gotta hear that reason.
Well, I'm going to go with 91 when they got their first ring.
Can't argue that.
Because that was like a determined man ready trying to get that ring after getting his ass whooped by the Pistons for so long. So
Yeah.
that was a whole different type of dude. So I'm going
True.
to say 91 because 91 gave y'all the man that y'all see now. So
Very
without
true.
91, you don't have 96 or 97, I don't think.
Damn, you just beat
Okay.
my shit up.
Damn.
You just fucked my whole answer up. But good shit. That's a very
Damn.
good breakdown, and I totally respect it. Salute you for that.
Damn. I think I would probably have to go like so it definitely has to be one of the Ballhead Mike seasons because he had the chips. I would go I'm gonna go 93
Oh,
because
Twiz, he just beat your shit up too.
damn. I'm gonna go 93, man, because if you look at 93, and even Phil Jackson said, I forgot where I read it. I gotta find it. But Phil Jackson said he actually had to like slow them down because they was trying to win like 70 games, 75 games and shit. And like you look at what he did in the finals, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like he was like just on another level. He was just like Super Saiyan level at that point. Like
It looked very easy
it looked
because we
super
were so
easy.
young, we don't remember it per se, but watching it, it looked like it was just easy for him.
Yep. Easy.
Wow.
Like Gucci say, so is easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
So could I piggyback off your answer, Twiz?
yeah, absolutely.
So if Mike didn't retire and he made that finals look that easy, what do you think was in store for the teams that next 93-94 season?
Oh, I think they would have won 4 straight. Absolutely. I think the only
So you
problem they
don't
would have
think
had,
Houston would have been able to stop him?
I can't go against Mike because he never lost there. You feel me?
True.
Like Mike
True.
has went on record and said that Hakeem gave them problems in the regular season. They actually got a losing record against them in the regular season. But as we all know, regular season don't mean shit when it comes to the finals. I mean, D Rose and the Bulls swept Miami in the regular season. We see what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm still heartbroken about that.
Yeah.
I think Mike would have figured some shit out. I think Phil would have figured some shit out. I think they would have won 4 straight. I think the only issue would have been mental fatigue. You know what I'm saying? Like to keep winning and to just stay focused while you're on top. I think that would have been their only problem. But yeah, I think they would have won 4 straight in '94 though, because Pippen went crazy, and we're gonna talk about that on another episode. Like,
Ooh, yeah.
you know, Pippen
Oh
versus
yeah.
94 Pippen versus 2011 Rose. We're gonna talk about that on another episode. Like,
Ooh,
you
man,
know,
Pippen went nuts
Scottie
on that
Pippen,
year.
Scottie
Nuts.
Pippen, one of the most overrated players in the history of
What
the
you
oh
game.
say?
shit,
You said overrated?
oh
Holy
shit,
moly.
uh
You said
One of the
Holy
most
overrated? Oh
moly.
my
overrated
god.
players in the history of
oh.
Oh,
basketball.
man.
Oh my
Scottie
god.
Pippen led that team in every statistical category for an entire season, and you say his
Well,
man is
I got
overrated?
one. I got one question for you. What makes him overrated?
Yes.
He just is, man. I mean,
Yes, he
he's a great
just
defender.
is.
Ah,
He's a great defender.
That man was a point guard. He was a point
He
forward
wasn't.
first.
He was not a point guard.
Yes,
Let's
he
let's
did play
he
point
was
guard.
not.
Are you serious?
Let's be
He
honest.
played
He
point
was
guard
not.
at times. Oh my
He
good.
he
He
he brought the
okay.
ball up the floor a few times.
Does LeBron James play point guard?
Yes, and Scottie Pippen does not do what LeBron James does.
Nobody was ever
Not a
gonna say
yeah.
chance.
that. Nobody was
Well,
ever gonna
His
say that.
game
well,
style, his playing style, isn't even the same.
Oh,
but you know
Twiz, you got to make
LeBron.
this again because this man is
You know
smoking
LeBron
something.
pulled from Pippen, right?
What he pull? How to play some
Like
defense?
that defense and that
Say what he
point
pulled.
forward, all that stuff. He pulls from him.
Well,
That's
And
like
he
one of
Scottie
his
talk
favorite
about
Pippen.
it.
players, though.
Scottie
Low
Pippen
key.
was a nice player. He's very
Called his
overrated.
ass nice. So he not top 50, G?
Oh
I no,
wow.
in my opinion, he's not top 50.
Who would you?
Damn.
Okay,
All
so
right.
who would you put in his
Well,
spot instead of him?
Um, well, Kawhi Leonard is a better player than Scottie Pippen.
oh,
Kawhi.
Oh
what?
goodness.
What?
He,
Kawhi.
I
Kawhi,
can't
Kawhi,
say that,
Kawhi.
man. Kawhi
Why
career
not?
ain't long enough, and
Well,
Kawhi be pulling
Man,
stuff like he don't want to play because he hurt.
yeah,
so that means
Like
he ain't better than him because he don't want to play
hell
sometimes.
it
nah, he
just tell
ain't
me
better than
about
no
your
damn Scottie
mentality,
Pippen.
man.
What do Scottie Pippen do better than Kawhi?
Shoot.
What? Kawhi can
He
what?
said
Scotty,
what?
Scotty in the later years was a solid ass shot, boy.
He
You
Solid,
was.
and
crazy.
Kawhi shoots 40 from the three.
Oh
That's
my
because he shoot more
goodness.
threes.
No, he
I
shoots
was about to say
40%.
that. I was
Ain't
gonna say
But
that.
I mean,
Scotty.
I don't know if I can
I
put
don't
Kawhi
know.
over Scotty though, G.
I
he's
can't
better
do
than
that
Scottie.
because his career is not even over yet. So he hasn't reached the point where I can put you until you get at least there
He'll
or
never reach
past
it.
them. I gotta see your whole book before I put you above anybody that's great.
Kawhi led the team to a championship too by itself.
Yeah,
When?
when LeBron left the East and went to the
What they
West,
what they got to do with anything?
and everybody on that Golden State team besides Steph Curry was hurt.
Kawhi got Kawhi
Hey,
got two. He got two
hey,
Finals
hey,
MVPs.
you know the Looney Tunes. I mean, in Space Jam, when all Looney Tunes was hurt on the sideline, that was Golden State, G.
Uh-huh. Exactly. That's
Motherfuckers was out of
exactly
there.
what
Kawhi
it
got
was.
but Kawhi got two
Hold on.
Finals MVPs.
Definitely got
He
Don't
two.
got two.
matter. Congratulations.
He
What that
got a
Definitely
mean?
got.
couple Defensive Player of the Years too.
That does
Scotty
not
got. I
mean
mean,
you the
Scotty got.
better player.
I mean, Scotty got.
That does not mean you the better player.
Hey, hey, I'm gonna ask this though. What's
What's
y'all
that?
favorite pair of Jordans?
11s,
Damn, you said that quick.
easily.
11s is that stuff. But
It's a,
I like threes too. I
Yes,
really
that's
love
my favorite.
threes.
Yes, the
I'm
threes are my
saying
favorite. I never had a
they
pair. Can you
sneakers.
believe that? I never had a pair, but
Oh
I just
man,
love them. I can't find them in my size, but I love them.
I ain't big into
threes.
sneakers, but I like my favorite pairs. Whatever number the Concords are. I like the white and the powder
11,
blue ones.
That's the
Them the
11.
11s,
11s
right? Yep.
and the
Yep.
11s.
So
12s. I think the 12s are the
They the ones with the sign like it's made by the Japanese flag. They got the little
Yeah.
lines on the side of the shoe going up.
no, I ain't talking
Yeah.
about that. What's the ones that he was?
hey, sneakerheads listening to this shit like,
You
what
talking
the
about the?
fuck, niggas? Y'all
Yeah,
don't know
You talking
shit.
about the? I know,
I
right?
don't do
You
the
talking the He
sneakers.
Got Games?
No, not the
He
He
don't do
Got
Those
the
are
Game.
sneakers, G, so he don't
13s.
know. He don't know.
Those are 13s. My brother is talking about the 12s. I know which ones he's talking about because he had them. So those are the 12s. The 13s are your Flints and your black and reds and the
With the
other
air
ones.
bubble,
You
right?
talking about 12?
Yeah.
No. 13s don't got no
Sneakerheads
air
losing
bubble.
their mind right now, Toys. They losing their
They
mind.
they they going
13s don't
crazy right
got
now,
no air
pissed off.
bubble. 12s don't got no air bubble. Motherfucking 11s don't got no air bubble. 10s don't got no air bubbles. 9s, most of Jordan shoes don't have a visible air bubble.
I'm talking about on the side.
That's the 13s with the little
Oh,
hologram in
yeah.
the those are 13s.
Oh, so yeah, you do the sneakers. I don't do that.
And that's that.
Yeah,
And that's that.
yeah, yeah, cool.
He said, yeah, sneakerheads losing their motherfucking mind right now.
Hell yeah.
If you enjoyed this podcast, I ask for two things. Number one, leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may enjoy it as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our other podcast, Mogul Motivation from True Stories Media.